baby, welcome in a special Sunday edition, Mother's Day edition of New York, New York. It's JJ John Jastrzemski. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, break out the brooms. Let's party like it's 1999. Let's celebrate Mom. I'm celebrating baby Ellie, who's celebrating her first birthday. And yes, for the first time since 99 and 2000, the New York Knicks are headed to consecutive conference finals. And I can get used to these feet up victory cigar butt whoopings that we have seen for the better part of the last 2.5 weeks. Isn't it amazing that you can sit down in the third quarter of these games basically saying to yourself, it's over. And you don't feel like you're mushing it. You don't feel like you're putting the cart before the horse. It has been legitimate, thorough domination from the New York Knicks on their way to the Eastern Conference Finals. And in this 144-114 victory over the Sixers, I'd love to give you hard-hitting analysis, but I'm going to keep it real simple, stupid. The Sixers looked like a team that was ready for the first tee at Marion tomorrow. The Sixers look like a team that's basically ready to go and hit Cancun or Antigua or Europe or whatever their vacation destination may be. Maybe Joel Embiid is going to bellyache and bitch and moan about the foul calls in this game. He's going to do that? Somebody can alert me. Let me know if that happens. The Knicks on Sunday afternoon, folks, and mind you, the fourth quarter of this game, you didn't see any of the starters play. They all were out. They all were enjoying the rest of their day with the towels on, with the warm-up suits on the bench. The Knicks scored 144 points with Brunson, Towns, Bridges, Hart, McBride all on the bench. Oh, do I need to mention that OG Anunoby didn't need to play these teams? No, we didn't. Didn't matter for the New York Knicks. The Knicks go and basically put on a clinic of shooting that will live forever in the history of the franchise. They made the most three-point shots they have ever made in all of the years of watching Knicks basketball, and I get it. That basketball has changed quite a bit. The three-point shot, the evolution of the three-point shot, all of that has evolved over time. I get that. Most threes made in history for the franchise? Wow. How about some more history? The Knicks, once again, were over 50% from the field. They have now done that in 7 consecutive games. It's the first time in 70 years we're talking about a Knicks team, or any team for that matter, doing that in a stretch of playoff basketball. You want to talk about a team humming and firing on all cylinders. That's the Knicks. You wondered if the absence of OG Anunoby would upset the apple cart in Philadelphia because of how well he's been playing and how important to this team he has been. Game 3, it's Landry Shamet. Game 4, Deuce McBride's like, hey, I had a crummy game 3. Fellas, I got you today. First quarter. Bang, 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 bang. 3 after 3 after 3. Deuce McBride was your leading scorer today with 25 points. He's 7 of 10 from the field. He hit 7 threes. Think about that for a minute. Deuce McBride hit 7 threes in this game. You want efficiency out of Jalen Brunson? You got efficiency out of Jalen Brunson. You want Josh Hart doing his thing, getting it a rack, getting you second, third opportunities? He did that too. Towns gave you 17 points in 20 minutes. Still finds a way to pick up stupid foul after stupid foul. But hey, if that's the only nitpick you have, you know life is good in Knickland. When the Knicks are giving you these monstrous beatdowns, you just have to smile and say, wow, life is good at the moment. And isn't that reality? If you're a fan of the New York Knicks, and you know exactly what I'm referencing, the better part of the post-Ewing era. So the minute Patrick Ewing played his last game, Game 6 conference finals against Indiana, which was a loss. It also was the last time the Knicks went to consecutive conference finals in a row. It set off a decade plus of the abyss. Isaiah Thomas, Nate Robinson, our pal Marbury, David Lee, Eddie Curry, Steve Francis. I'll speak on it. I was a college student, and the Knicks basically, before the season even began, were irrelevant. They were irrelevant. There was no juice. There was no sizzle. The games didn't matter. And you fell into this black cloud as a franchise. Then it looked like you're starting to come out of it. Okay, finally, Donnie Walsh comes in. Mike D'Antoni comes in. They sign Amari Stoudemire. They make the Carmelo Anthony trade. They have about 2 or 3 solid years, and then they fall into the abyss again. And the abyss after Melo and after Stoudemire and after that 54-win season that ended with the Roy Hibbert block led you to another 8 or 9 years of wondering, is this franchise ever going to dig themselves out of it? And that's where you got to look at Leon Rose. Leon Rose came in. He came in with credibility. He was well respected and did nothing but make good move after good move after good move after good move. He knew when to say goodbye to certain players. If they get through the next 4 games, there's going to be at least some level of vindication for making a coaching change. I don't agree with it. I think it's probably unfair to Tom Thibodeau because Tom Thibodeau might be sitting there saying to himself, I could have gotten this team to the NBA Finals too, but he's not the coach, and I got to give the current head coach credit for the way this team has done nothing but take no prisoners. They fell behind 2-1 against Atlanta. That happened. It's kind of crazy to think about, right? Because the Knicks have done nothing but win by double digits. They've done nothing but whoop these teams in a submission. But they were down 2-1 against the Atlanta Hawks. Since that point in time, they haven't lost a game. They've won, 3 in a row against the Hawks, all by double digits. 4 straight against the Sixers. So let's do some math. Syracuse education. That's 7 wins in a row. And 6 of those 7 are by double figures. And if you want to look beyond that, I could find even more ass whoopings that you saw in that time. So everybody within the organization now gets the bouquets as they're going to the conference finals. But the job's not finished. And as we celebrate today, which we will do, we will mock our brethren from Philadelphia, and we'll take great satisfaction in Embiid tears and sending Maxey fishing and George and that stiff Quentin Grimes. Yeah, I mean, Philly stood no chance in this series. They had absolutely no hope in this series. But been there, done that. It's about the next 4 that the Knicks need to get. In order to go and say, without question, that this season was a successful season for the Knicks, they have to be in the NBA Finals. And I know over the next week, we're going to spend a lot of time, and I hope everybody gets to dive in tomorrow night. Hey, nothing to worry about. Your team's in the conference finals. Let Detroit and Cleveland kick the crap out of one another. Let that series go 7 games. Let either one of those teams who ends up getting out of it be as guest as Philly has been coming into this one. Great. Love the sound of that. But I really don't care, Detroit or Cleveland. Detroit's tougher. They are. Cleveland, as we know, doesn't have a whole lot of heart on that team. They don't have a whole lot of guts on that team. But they are more talented than Detroit. I'd prefer to see Cleveland. I really don't care. Knicks are playing like this. They're going to the NBA Finals. And that is now the next objective for a team, and that's why I brought up the history, folks, that has not been to the NBA Finals since 1999. Going to the finals is a big deal. Don't sell it short, because you have to look back on 2001 through 2010, then 2014 basically until 2021 of these years of irrelevance. Sunday was the NBA draft lottery. Now, I know it's Mother's Day Sunday, so my priority is, hey, make sure I'm in front of a TV as soon as that Knicks game starts. Had the Yankees going. Like, it totally slipped my mind it was NBA Draft Lottery Day. Like, it was reminded to me over the weekend. I'm like, oh, crap, it's the lottery. Because it's not an event anymore. We don't care. Guess what? Maybe if you're a fan of the Brooklyn Nets, it mattered to you. Once again, you get the short end of the stick. Hey, we've been there, right? As Knicks fans, I can attest, getting my hopes and dreams and aspirations all ready for the NBA draft lottery, only to be picking 5th or 7th or 8th, or maybe a good year it'll be 3rd. I don't care about that. Whatever. Good for Joe House. I'm happy for Washington. They won. Let them go celebrate. All the other teams bitching and moaning. Great. Not my problem. The conference finals are my problem. And isn't that a thing of beauty? Isn't that something that you should celebrate as a Knicks fan? I'm going to do so. That's why I'm wearing my party hat. And if you think I'm being childish and wearing my party hat, it's my daughter's first birthday. And the Knicks are in the conference finals for the 2nd year in a row. Enjoy it. That's my advice to everybody listening right now. Enjoy it. However, job's not finished. Job's not finished. Enjoy the week. We'll preview it on Thursday, which is great. Tuesday off, get to recharge your batteries a little bit. I can have a nice Thursday pod, Knicks preview, Subway Series preview, go about our merry way. And then it's go time next Sunday. Let Detroit and Cleveland go kill one another. But Philly, enjoy the ass whooping. What a thing of beauty. We lead it off. Mo in the Soriano spot. He joins us. Mo, isn't it nice to not worry about the draft lottery? Hallelujah freaking Luya.
JJ, again, I'm pretty young. Like, my whole life is basically I wait to the draft lottery to happen, and then we get the 7th pick, and then we move on. I move on with my life, and I watch another season of us going 28 and 54. So that's nice. I don't need to worry about that over the last few years. But I mean, JJ, I'm not going to even talk about the game. There's nothing to say. Philly kind of gave up. Once Philly's punch during Game 3 was kind of, like the Knicks kind of, responded back. That was it for Philly. That was it. They were done. This game was going to be a butt whooping, and I kind of knew that going in.
You know what was the gift of all gifts, Mo? And unfortunately, I bet this. I made money off it. I'm not going to say I didn't make money off of it. The fact that the odds makers decided to go and give the betting public and folks like myself that want to deposit a couple of bucks down on the FanDuel app or on BetMGM or wherever you go and placing your bets, the Knicks were -1 in this game today. I mean, I wish I put Ellie's tuition on the Knicks -1 today. That was a gift.
I told all my friends, I was like, guys, this is going to be a blowout. The Sixers might try for the first quarter, but forget it. Like, they're going to give up. Knowing the people on this team, on this Philly team,
they're gutless. They're gutless. It was 1, 2, 3. When Deuce McBride hit his second 3 in a row, the look on Philly's face, seeing the MSG South, seeing the whole dynamic, it's like, you know what? Let's go home.
Yeah, when your coach is begging you to try. I mean, that wasn't also a good look. That's also something they caught on the broadcast. That was pretty funny. But, JJ, I really want to talk about Leon Rose, JJ, what can you say about
here's what you can say. He's a wizard. That's what I'll say. And there's a narrative out there that I want to address with Leon Rose. I, for one, find it frustrating that we don't hear from him throughout the year, because I want to give the other GMs in town, Cashman, Stearns, who right now is doing an atrocious job, the guys with the football, say what you want about him. There's like a transparency that they're out there to speaking. Leon Rose is not speaking. I don't love that. But you know what I do love? The way he's put a team together. So I have all of this in front of me where I'm like, yeah, I wish he talked to the media. Yeah, I wish we heard from him. But if he's going to keep building teams like this, dude, I don't need to hear from you. Just keep building winners. That's it. I got nothing.
Yeah, then what's there to talk about? I mean, I'm sick at my job. Like, I'm doing great. But JJ, not only that about Leon Rose, he didn't have high picks to deal with here. It's not like he's striking number 1 overall picks here. Like, if you look at, the Thunder have a few like high picks. Obviously, the Spurs have Wembanyama. They got him at, even the Sixers, they literally had a 10-year run or 7-year run where they were losing on purpose to get high picks, and they got the number 1 pick a couple of times. The way he built his team, JJ, is not the normal way you build a team in the NBA. And for him to have this success, and for this team not only, and I disagree with you with one point, JJ. If I'm Tom Thibodeau, like I don't think Tom Thibodeau, and maybe they get through the Sixers and the Hawks. The way this offense runs, JJ, is a machine.
Yeah, it's fair.
It's a machine.
Mo, you know what? I can't fight you on that because they are moving the ball and they are playing a better offensive brand of basketball in this postseason than what you saw with my beloved head coach.
And the defense is not being compromised either.
No, the defense is
great.
The defense has been locked in from game 4 on. Whatever switch was flipped with this Knicks group, it's absolutely positively remarkable. So I'm right there with you. Like, I didn't want to make a change. I think Tibbs could have gotten his team to the finals. So I want to make that perfectly clear.
Okay.
But if you go and get to the finals, there's nothing Leon Rose has to say about the coaching change. He has to say, hey, guess what? I saw an opportunity to go and get my team to the next level, and we did exactly that. What are you going to say now?
I mean, there's nothing you could say. And, you know, a mark of a good team is people that step up when you need them to come through. And Shamit, McBride, the last 2 games, they came through for us, especially since OG wasn't there. But, you know, at the end of the day, JJ, like it's been really something that, I mean, I can't really do anything else other than praise this team. Like, seriously.
Mo, listen, here's the bottom line, baby. Party like it's 1999. That's what I'm doing today. I may have to save the party hat and bring it out if the Knicks go to the NBA Finals. Maybe we'll save this for every one of these Knicks celebrations. Hopefully we can do this a couple more times. I'd like the sound of that. Let's do it at the end of the Eastern Conference Finals, but better yet, let's do it sometime in the middle of June. Can you imagine that? 8 wins away. Dare to dream. He's standing out in the rain. That's how excited he is. He probably needed to get a little quiet. The great Charlie in Woodside. Hi, Charlie.
Hey, JJ, we see this right here? We brought the brooms, baby. We
sweep it, baby. Let's see a little sweep. Let me see a little sweep. You're on video now. You can show off for the audience.
Let's go. Let's go.
Attaboy, Charlie. Beautiful.
Let's go. I mean, get these scumbags from Philadelphia out of here. Like, the last time I talked was that Wednesday? Like, I was worried about OG getting hurt. Now, this series proved that this team was so much deeper. Guys stepping up, like game 3 was Shamit, and today's game they took no prisoners, absolutely no prisoners. Like everybody chipped in, and it's not just Brunson, like Cat, like Deuce McBride, just onslaught all over the place. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's such gorgeous to watch. Talk about like this Knicks playoff run. Like it's always like, you know, death and tooth and nail to the end. Like blowouts. Like the last how many wins in a row? 7 wins in a row, and
7 wins in a row. 6 of them by double figures. I don't have the number in front of me, Charlie. I got to say at least 3 or 4 of them by 20+ points. Just think about 3 of these wins. The closeout in Atlanta, game 1 of this series, game 4 of this series. You have the bench emptied, not just for the final minute or 2, Charlie. The entire 4th quarter is basically walk-on city. It's walk-on city.
It's unbelievable. And I don't know how he did it, but Mike Brown obviously made a huge adjustment that game 4 in Atlanta, and they really just took off. And, like, I mean, obviously defensively hasn't slipped in anything yet, like, it's unbelievable. And let me say this. I think Paul George, he looks like he was officially a bum.
Yeah, he's ready for his vacation. You know, Charlie, I'm sure him and his lady will be sipping a mojito, a pina colada, or whatever the drink of choice may be. Hey, listen, I get it. Getting away is good. It recharges the battery, refreshes you. You know, enjoy. Have a good vacation.
It's nice. And obviously, scumbag Embiid, I think his knee is shot. He can't jump no more. He needs to retire.
I don't want to get morbid here, but you know what was a concern of mine watching this game midway through the 2nd quarter? When it was so obvious the Knicks are going to win by a zillion points, and there was never a moment that I was stressing this game for a second. But in the back of my mind, I'm saying to myself, I hope there's no shenanigans with Embiid. I hope there's no cheap shots. I hope there's no funny business. I hope there's no nonsense, because that's the last thing you need. It's the last thing you need if you're the Knicks. Thankfully, they didn't have any of that, and they were able to get the starters out of the game, and it was game, set, match.
It's glorious. It's glorious. It's absolutely glorious. And then like now, it's kind of hard to fathom that this team gets a week off, and it all depends on the other series, Cleveland and Detroit. I hope that goes to 7 games.
Yeah, Cavs. That's my mindset on Monday. Go Cavs. Let it go 7. Let them go kick the crap out of one another. Great. Because people are going to make the argument, oh, there's a rust factor. I don't care about that. OG Anunoby had this hamstring injury. Every day of rest I can get OG, every day of rest I can get Jalen Brunson, who we've seen in these postseasons at times, tire out, extra blows for Cat, the whole deal. Give me the rest, please. If it means they're a little sluggish in game 1, so be it. They'll figure it out. Give me the rest. Let that other series go 7. And preferably, Charlie, I don't care. I think the Knicks have beaten either team. I'd rather see the Cavs. I think they're a weaker opponent. I do.
Yes. Obviously, that prefer. But if the Knicks are playing the way they do, bring on both of them. Bring on both of them. And it's so funny. It is so funny. Like the Celtics lost to this team, and Philly against Philly. I mean, Knicks swept the Philly. Philly, and it's just like, man, it's shame on the Celtics, man. Shame on the Celtics.
100%. Hey, listen, the Celtics, Charlie, great call, bro. They got nobody to blame but themselves. That's it. They had a 3-1 lead. I don't give a rat's ass Tatum didn't play. I'm sorry, I don't. They lost game 5 at home, he played. They lost game 6 in Philadelphia, he played. I don't want to hear from the Celtics. You would. And here's the dirty little secret. Knicks matched up really well with the Celtics. They did. They matched up really, really well. So they would have been playing in the conference finals either way. I see a bunch of YouTube comments. I'm going to hit you guys on these. I just posted the link if you want to get in and join the show. This one from Garrett. The Knicks shot one less free throw than the Sixers, excuse me. I can't read. Syracuse education. Sixers shot one less free throw than the Knicks. I assume that'll be the reason we won, according to Loser Embiid. Well played. This is a good one. This from Char's Media Pod. Up 2-0 going into game 3. Difference between the 2024 team and the 2026 team. The 26 team is so much deeper where OG wasn't needed because this year had the depth. That's absolutely true. And look at these 2 games in Philadelphia. It's Landry Shamet, Mikal Bridges doing their thing in game 3. Game 4, it's the Deuce McBride show. This the deepest Knicks team they've had in a long time. And, I'm thinking this watching the game. This got to be the best Knicks team in my lifetime. And I know when I say that, it means a lot because I love that 94 team. 94 team didn't have the depth that this team has. 99 team, loved them. Warriors, all heart. Patrick Ewing's playing on one leg. They got to the NBA Finals against the Spurs. They legitimately had no chance. I think they go to the NBA Finals, I will be officially proclaiming the 25-26 Knicks, the best Knicks team of my 37, soon to be 38 years here on this earth. Because I didn't see Clyde Frazier and those 70s teams, so I didn't have that. Always a pleasure. We have the great Anthony in Tom's River. Ant, my boy. How's it going?
Good, JJ. How we doing?
Fantastic, Anthony. We got the party hat on. We are celebrating. The Knicks are in the conference finals. Ellie has won, and life is good.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, listen, you hit everything right on the head here. In terms of the Knicks being the greatest team of our lifetime, I mean, I totally agree. And, I got to eat some crow here. Maybe you do too. Mike Brown has done pretty well since being down 2-1.
Excellent. Listen, Anthony, he got roasted. I was leading the charge. Yeah. I thought he coached 2 terrible games in that Atlanta series. With that being said, the adjustment he made offensively in game 4, getting Karl Anthony Towns, running the offense through him at the 3-point line, getting and freeing up OG Anunoby, getting Brunson off the ball. He deserves enormous credit for that. And he also deserves enormous credit for the way that this team has taken no prisoners. Dude, they have whooped and demolished and kicked the ass of the Atlanta Hawks and the Philadelphia 76ers. These fourth quarters, the games are over. It's irrelevant. They're playing walk-ons, bud.
Yeah, and I think, you look at a lot of championship teams and championship pedigree. You would think, all right, Knicks up 2-0, take a split, maybe close it out in 5 or 6. They just laid it on. Like, OG's out, okay, and we're just going to kill them by 30. And those are signs of a championship team. No, like, look at what OKC's doing. Like, I know they're playing the Lakers and they stink, but they're just, like, going to sweep everybody until they get to the much harder teams. And they play pretty well, and the Knicks aren't taking any prisoners either. They're not playing down to their competition.
No.
And I feel like in the past, they've done that.
Well, listen, and it's come back to bite them. You look at the Indiana series 2 years ago. Obviously, there were injuries that played a role there. Last year, they had the huge lead in game 1. It changed the entire complexion of the series. I don't think there's any doubt. They win game 1 against the Pacers. We might have been singing a different tune. And this team now can erase all of that. They're on this insane run. They're going to the conference finals, but now they got to finish the job. Bare minimum, Anthony. And look, I hope we're talking in 10 days about a Knicks Thunder or a Knicks Spurs NBA Finals. It'll be amazing for New York City. It'll be amazing for what we do. It will be such a huge deal to have the NBA Finals back in the Big Apple. But you'll dream about that when you get there. This team can't fall short now. They can't. Like, I know Detroit's tough. I know that they gave the Knicks a hard time last year and they beat them up. Hey, they won all 3 of the regular season matchups. Don't care. Have to win that series. Am I right or am I wrong? Have to.
Absolutely. And I listen, I think we're all probably pulling for Cleveland. I'd rather play Cleveland than Detroit. But even if they're playing Detroit, I feel confident. And
if they're playing like this, Anthony, not only against Detroit, I want to take this a step further. If they're playing like this, they can play with anybody.
Yeah.
I know OKC is great. They deserve to be favored. I'm not saying they don't deserve to be favored. This version of the Knicks is not getting run out of the gym by the Thunder. They're not.
Totally agree. And listen, I know your buddy, Beningo, I've heard him recently. Once you get to the finals, like, why can't they win? Like, why do we have to settle for just the finals trip? The way they are playing like a championship team. There's no doubt about it. And I know the Thunder are deep and they're the defending champion, but you're right. They can hang with anybody. And this isn't like, hey, let's just, get a participation trophy for getting to the finals.
No, because here's the thing,
played San
Anthony,
Antonio
listen,
tough this year, and they could hang with OKC.
And you never know when you're getting back.
Exactly.
You never know. Like, I like this Knick group. I think this Knick group has definitely found something. Appreciate the call, Anthony. But you never know. Like, there's no given that you're rolling out the basketballs next year and the Knicks are all of a sudden back in the NBA Finals. It's really, really hard from an injury standpoint, from a luck standpoint, from a matchup standpoint. So when you get there, you want to seize it. And there's this history of weird shit happening right before you hit the NBA Finals. Hey, look at the Toronto Warriors series as a perfect example. Golden State was a heavy favorite going into that series. I remember I bet Toronto plus 2.5 games, and I bet them to win the series. I was like, it's probably a bad bet, but I'm going to bet them. I want to root for them. I'm sick of the Warriors. And that was the whole Durant calf Achilles deal. And Klay Thompson got hurt in game 6. And we thought it was the end of the Warriors as we knew them. Well, that was right. They ended up winning another championship after the fact. But what am I getting at here? Toronto, with basically 1 year of Kawhi Leonard, seized that moment. And despite the fact that he left the following offseason, it's like they won. Like, you can never take that away. That's what I want for the Knicks. Get there. Get there. I'm not going to call a season a failure if they get to the NBA Finals. That's how I'm not going to do that, but you want to seize the moment. That's a good comment. Andrew Becker, 2552. Have you ever seen McBride play a better game, JJ? It's tough. It's tough to find a better game out of Deuce McBride. He's had some, I will say with Deuce, when he gets going, he does get going in a monstrous, monstrous way. But this was one of those games. I mean, it was basically like the biggest hoop on planet Earth with the way we're shooting these threes. They were just splash, 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 playing with insane confidence. And he's one of those guys, like, you kind of know early with Deuce if he has it or he doesn't. And you also know the confidence is never going to be shook. Like, it's not. Like, he's one of those players that's like, yeah, I'm going to shoot the ball with confidence and expect that it's going in, even if I'm coming off a 2 for 10 game or if I'm coming off an 8 for 10 game. I'm going to play and approach it the same way. This is a good one from P-Liff. I was on a plane with no Wi-Fi. I get off, they're up by 25. That's a good feeling to have. That is a good feeling to have. I'll tell you what else is a good feeling to have. This is from Robert J. Domingo. Knicks don't have to worry about picking the next Kevin Knox or Frank Ntilikina in the draft. Thank heavens, okay? Thank heavens. I am not going to bore everybody with the laundry list of Knick failures or Knick picks that have gone by the wayside. Michael Sweetney, Jordan Hill, Kevin Knox. Yeah. You can worry about the Eastern Conference Finals. That's why. Draft lottery was like a classic NMP hashtag. Not my problem. Not my problem. Jay Berg, you're upset I untangled the headphones. I know. I actually decided to be a professional broadcaster today. In case you're wondering what I'm talking about. So Jay Berg is referencing on Friday night when I did the show. You know, sometimes it could be a little chaotic when, you know, you're getting ready to do the show, you're watching the game, there's 10 zillion things going on. I want to fire this up as quickly as I can. And I started the show and I was a hot mess. I mean, I looked like, you know, like the 7th grade science teacher who was throwing on headphones for the first time in his life with like 10 zillion knots. I'm actually shocked I didn't choke my neck out. But today I wanted to make sure they were untangled. So no stress. This one comes from Michael. Knicks have let me down all my life until one went away from the ring. Don't trust them. Listen, trusting them in winning a championship is entirely different than enjoying this ride that you're a part of at the moment. This is an incredible ride. You've now won 7 playoff games in a row, and 6 of the 7 you've won by double figures, and 3 or 4 of them you've won by more than 20 points. That doesn't happen. I want to remind everybody of that. It doesn't happen. It's not supposed to be this easy. Yet it has been. It has been. And it's why you go into this week and you're like, great, let these teams go kill one another. And we'll see you Sunday for the conference finals. I hope OG Anunoby is getting some incredible treatment. And I know the Knick doctors are amazing, and I'm sure they got him at all of the, the rehab spots. They know what they're doing. Hopefully a week will do wonders for a very, very important New York Knick. Now, I do want to hit on some baseball before we say goodbye. And listen, you keep the YouTube comments coming. I'm going to hit first with the real negative of the weekend. And no, I'm not talking about the Yankees getting swept, because the Yankees have earned enough goodwill to go and have a series like they just had against the Milwaukee Brewers. And there were some major, major warts this weekend. The bullpen let them down on Saturday. There was some sloppy play on Saturday you don't love. And then Sunday in this game, little lead get away. Don makes his debut. Bednar gives up the home run to Terang, and they end up losing the game. The Yankees can have a bad series. You know why? Because they've had the best record in the American League for a month, and they're 11 games over 500. The Mets, on the other hand, wanted to build upon the momentum somewhat that they had in the first 5 games of this West Coast trip, where it's like, okay, you beat the Colorado Rockies in the first 2 games. You won 2 or 3 against the Angels. Great. Can you really get fat on this road trip? And the answer is a resounding no. And you want to know why the answer is a resounding no? And this is why the answer of trying to believe in being bullish about this group is incredibly tough at this moment. ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Mets don't hit. They don't hit. They faced Merrill Kelly yesterday going up against Holmes. Holmes has been great. Listen, we're talking about Mike Brown and me taking the L on Mike Brown and the hire, which I'm going to have to if they go to the NBA Finals, and I'll be more than happy to do so. I'm transparent, honest, fair. That's what we do around here. I didn't think Clay Holmes would be this successful starting pitcher. Actually handled the role really, really nicely. But the sports books gave you even money today or yesterday with Holmes against Kelly. Kelly's got a 9 ERA. Arizona was the bet. You want to know why they were the bet? The Mets can't hit. They can't hit. They have built the lineup that is incredibly flawed. The bottom of the order is giving you nothing, and the guys who are supposed to be anchoring the top of the order are doing nothing. You can't win that way. You score 1 run in each of the last 2 games, and you're back to 10 games under 500. Soto's in a funk. Here's the problem for Soto. Let's just think about this logically. If I'm playing the Mets, why in God's name am I going to go and pitch to Juan Soto? You guys tell me. Why would I pitch to Juan Soto? Why? Let somebody go beat me. Let Bichette and his 559 OPS go and beat me. Let Bichette go and have a monster month. Then maybe I'll think twice about pitching to Soto. So Soto's not going to see the same quality of pitches to hit. And he's patient and he'll take his walks. But you do have to wonder if he's like, wow, there's a pitch that kind of looks pretty damn close. Maybe I got to be a little bit more aggressive. Very easy to be thrown off by that. No excuse for Juan Soto. He's making $1 zillion. Nobody gives a rat's ass. He's got to perform. He's gone cold. Bichette's been awful. I mean, think about this lineup today. They had Austin Slater. Yes, Yankee legend Austin Slater hitting third in the lineup. Then it's Vientos, who's been, all right, up and down. He still doesn't have a 700 OPS. Simeon, he had 1 good game against Colorado. He's still got a sub 600 OPS and looks like a corpse. And then it's Ibanez. What? Tyrone Taylor? When you don't have the fact that MJ Melendez has like the highest OPS on the Mets, and we're in the 2nd week of May, doesn't that tell you everything that is wrong with the Mets? Can't hit. And with no Polanco, with no Lindor, what's changing? Why am I supposed to be glass half full that this team now all of a sudden is going to turn around? They can't hit. They can't score. And I find it comical. And Pete Alonso, it's weird that those comments came out over the weekend and didn't come out during the contract negotiations. I don't know why Boris Corp buried it. I don't have an answer for you. I couldn't tell you. But Heyman was all over it. You know, he's getting it from Boris. You know, his sources are good. The comment that Pete had towards David Stearns, I think is absolutely amazing. And I don't necessarily think that Pete Alonso is destined for a Hall of Fame career, but I admire confidence and I admire bravado and swagger and intensity. And Pete basically saying, hey, when I'm being talked about for the Hall of Fame, these guys are going to be fiddling with their models and their metrics. I love that. And I laugh when I heard a week ago, you know, the Mets, you know, not for nothing, they might be in a market for a power-hitting first baseman. I mean, the jokes write themselves. The jokes write themselves. Hello, you only had a guy who hit 35 and 40 home runs basically every single year. You have the richest owner in sports, and you're going to nickel and dime Pete Alonso. Because you don't want him over 5 to 6 years. When newsflash, all of these contracts end up being atrocious. So yeah, dirty little secret. The Mets, they miss Pete Alonso. He plays every day. He hits home runs. And, you know, Mendoza got the vote of confidence. And I don't think, listen, this is not Carlos Mendoza's fault entirely. This is not a particularly good team. This is an incredibly flawed team, despite the amount of money that they're spending. But sooner or later, this owner is just going to come to a point where he's like, hey, what am I spending my money on? Like, you ever do that? Like, you spend and you look at your credit card statement. I do it. I'm pretty good about my money. Some months are better than others, obviously. I'll splurge on golf stuff. I'll splurge on some throwback stuff. I'll buy another hat or two, and my wife thinks I'm absolutely insane because there are like 20 hats popping out of my closet. Last thing I need is another hat. I know. Hats allowed. We're in a celebratory mood today. But do you ever like go through your credit card statement and say, shit, what am I paying for? Like, I spent this amount of money on that? What am I doing? That's where I'd be if I'm Steve Cohen. I'd be looking at my credit card statement and I would be saying, what the fuck? Am I wrong? I'm spending this amount of money on this team and this is what I'm getting? David, I'd like a word. I don't want to hear about how bad the minor league system was before you walked into the building. I am letting you spend a gazillion dollars. You guys stink. Oh, but Steve, you signed off on these moves. Yeah, I gave you carte blanche to build me a winner. You know what you're not doing at the moment? Giving me a winner. Mets are a painful, painful, painful watch. I can't stress that enough. And I watch them every night. Listen, that's my job. I love what I do. But I like to talk about winning teams. I do. That's why this Knicks run has been so enjoyable for me. I like talking about teams that have success. This Met team is having no success. So I'm not burying them yet for the season. I'm too smart to do that. This baseball format now, it's like you're like never out of it. I mean, Mets, I'll say this. They're dead in the division. Dead. Don't the Mets will go another year now of not winning a division because Atlanta is going to run and hide with it. That would bother me too if I were Cohen. It's like, am I spending enough money? Am I not? Can I get a lousy division title? No, I can't. But they'll be heard from, I would guess. But like, you are running out of time. It's a long season. This is not like a week into the year. Teams in baseball. Period. End of discussion. One of the worst offensive teams in baseball. If that doesn't require WTF from the owner to the GM, then what does? Now, in the sake of transparency, why am I not going to go as ballistic about the Yankees losing 3 consecutive games to the Brewers? And I know Mike Vaccaro, who I love, the esteemed columnist who wrote an outstanding book on George and Hal that you should absolutely read. He fired this tweet off like 24 hours ago. The Yankee record against winning teams, not good. Well, that's Tampa and Milwaukee. Because the Yankees in the American League, newsflash, haven't played a whole lot of teams with winning records because nobody in the American League has a whole lot of winning records. I am chalking this up completely to having a bad weekend. Mizorowski on Friday night is lights out. That's a guy that's going to make a whole lot of lineups look stupid. Saturday was an incredibly frustrating game. Really, the last 2 games were incredibly frustrating. Saturday, because you had the lead, Schlittler was great after the comebacker, and Del Valle it up, and then it's sloppy. I don't know what base Tim Hill is throwing to, and you end up losing that game. Bad loss. Sunday, Rodon, first time through the order, looked amazing. Second time through the order, not so much. You're going to have a series like that. When you build up goodwill, you're given more leeway to go and snap yourself out of it. So now it's like, okay, first time all year, the Yankees really have been humbled. Other than that series against Tampa. Okay, get off the mat. Go to Baltimore, play well. And we'll see what kind of state the Yankees are in when they're playing the Mets coming up next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. As far as takeaways on Jones, finally got his first hit today. Had his first RBI. I posted a walk and talk video. I don't know if you guys saw this the other day. If not, you should be following the accounts. Instagram, NYNY with JJ. I enjoy doing these. I'm not a Jones fan. I'm just not. I hope he shuts me up. I hope he proves me wrong. The guy basically struck out 40% of the time in the minor leagues. So am I surprised that he's gotten off to a rotten start? Not really. Not really. But this is the perfect leeway. Let him play for 2 weeks. See what you have. Stanton comes back. It's back down to the minor leagues. I think by the time Spencer Jones' tenure in the big leagues wraps up over these next 2 weeks, you're going to see exactly why the Yankees have not gotten the return that maybe has been speculated. Hey, why haven't they gotten a big return for Spencer Jones? He's hitting all these home runs in the minor leagues. Or the opposite of, why did the Yankees just give Trent Grisham $20+ million? Why didn't they let Spencer Jones, all these home runs, let him go and be the center fielder of the future or the left fielder of the future? These are the reservations. And I don't think bringing him up to the big league is going to go and kill his stock because, personally, I think if Spencer Jones had big-time trade value, my gut tells me he would have been traded by now. That's what my gut tells me. So let him play it out. Get the at-bats, play him against right-handed pitching, see if he can hack it. My money is he probably won't. I'll take a couple more YouTube comments before we say goodbye. You guys are great, by the way. This is from Mighty Funny. McBride killed it today. I always thought McBride was Ronald McDonald's wife. I never thought about that one before Mighty Funny. Good for you. Here's another good one. Is there a bigger loser in sports right now outside of Joel Embiid? Wow. I mean, Embiid, James Harden, and I know he's coming off a great Game 3, and he's won an MVP, and he's probably going to end up a Hall of Fame player, but James Harden gives off major loser vibes. Major loser vibes. So he's in the running. I don't want to hear it. I know I'm going to get a couple of Aaron Judges. Aaron Judge, stop it. The guy's 3-time MVP, soon to be a 4 MVP. Cooler Jets on a James Harden, Aaron Judge playoff comparisons. At least Aaron Judge by himself takes the team to the World Series. Needed Soto and Stanton to help him, but yes, was a part of that. Another reason to be happy today. The Pacers lost their lottery pick. That is great news. Great news. And my guy Drew is very upset about that. He's my resident Pacer fan that I met when I played the Brickyard with him 2 years ago, believe it or not, on Mother's Day, before the Knicks got absolutely shellacked in Game 4 of that series. I think it's fair to say this version of Mother's Day, far more enjoyable, far happier this time around. I want the Pacers getting another premium asset. And this is what I mean about teams that you're going to have to contend with and deal with next year. Indiana will be back. You get Halliburton back with Siakam, with Zubats, another first-round pick. If that was a top 5 pick, that's a major asset. Hey, look at what San Antonio was able to do with Dylan Harper. And look at how he has just perfectly slotted into their equation. So happy I don't have to deal with the Indiana Pacers this year come playoff time. So happy about that. And I'm also so happy about the fact that it's a week off now for the Knicks. Rest up. Get OG right. Enjoy some basketball this week. That's what I hope to do. Good week to work on the golf game, maybe. Good week to get a little R&R. We'll be back with a vengeance on Thursday with our pod. And then we return to YouTube. Probably, I'm guessing if ESPN has the Eastern Conference Finals, Game 1 will be Sunday at this time slot, which, by the way, is an absolute thing of beauty for me. Give me more of these. I bellyached about it. I thought it was a disaster for Mother's Day. No, this worked out great. Great. Game's over at 7, 6 o'clock. Show's done at 7. And the Knicks have been hot in this time slot. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Ain't broke, don't fix it. But it's a week off for the Knicks. And my parting thought as we say goodbye. If this team now gets to do something they haven't done since the days of Van Gundy, Ewing, Houston, and Sprewell, remember how long it took us to get back to this point. Don't take it for granted. I know this team won't, but don't take it for granted. Conference finals life, it's pretty damn fun. We'll chat Thursday. Enjoy your week. JJ out. Be good, everybody.